short for this to be. Okay. So I am going to try to not start bawling in the middle of this. But I can't make any promises. I was in Mary Kay's office this morning. Both of us just started crying. It's been happening all week in uninspected times. And I have, as a lot of you know, I drive an hour each way to work, which gives me a lot of alone time in the car. And so the strategy I have employed for the last couple years, as I've had to give these somewhat emotional goodbye speeches for other people, which I thought were the hardest thing I would ever do, but apparently it wasn't, is that I practiced them in the car by myself, and it kind of numbed me to what I was saying, so that when Matt left and I had to give his farewell speech, I somehow got through it without crying, or at least bawling. But I've been trying to do that all week, and every time I do it, I start crying. So I apologize in advance. For those of you who have not seen me really lose it before, this may be the moment. Some of you have, but first I just want to thank everybody for putting together this great send-off. It's a lot of work, and especially Diana left last week, and that was a lot. And I thank Elisa and Karen and Barb and whoever else, Danielle, anyone else who's involved in this, and especially our special guests, John and Matt, and Jignasa is here from CPP, and Lisa, who was an almost original member of this office, and it's really great to see so many folks. I really am overwhelmed. You go to work every day to do work you love with great people, with a common mission on behalf of the state that I care so deeply about. And then you leave after all these years, and people say all these really nice things about you. I could not be luckier than I have been here, because for the last 8 years, I have had my dream job, truly. I really have been blessed and privileged to have been with this office since the very beginning. I hope I will go on to do other interesting and challenging things in my career, including what I'm about to do next. But I know nothing will ever compare to the experience I had building this office. When I walked in this door in January of 2008, none of you, except for that guy, Matt Boxer, were here. And 8 years later, to see all of you and what the office has become, it nearly leaves me speechless. So leaving is hard. In fact, I said this, I think, to Phil earlier today. This is probably one of the hardest things I have ever done in my life. Because, as I've said in numerous goodbye speeches I have given over the last couple of years, and they do seem to be numerous, when you work with people for this long, 8 years, they are your second family. And you go through a lot together. And as Matt noted, I had some difficult times during the birth of my younger son, and he had some serious health problems. And this office and the people here were always here for me. I always knew I had it to go back to, and that was comforting. But sometimes it's time to just move on, and for me that time is now. And I believe that change is good for an individual and for an organization. So I think that while this is tough, I think it's the right thing. But it's scary, and I am scared. This office has been a comforting place for me for so long, but it's also good to take on a new challenge. So first, a little bit of business. This Iron Man was given by Matt Boxer to our longtime assistant, June McLeod, when she left 2 years ago, because upon his departure, she became the second longest serving member of the office, I guess the longest serving member at the time. So I started a few days after Matt and June did. So when June retired, she gave it to me. I had thought that of giving it to Pete or Diana when I left, because they didn't leave too long ago, but because they started right after I did, but they're gone. So the next longest serving OSC employee at this point is Pat Moran. Pat was one of our first hires and had the pleasure of working directly with me for quite a while, as I might recall.
A lot of you don't realize I'm only 35. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. There are a number of people that I need to thank. So I'm gonna try not to have this take too long, but when you work in a place for 8 years, you work with a lot of great people. And I need to thank all of the division directors and deputy directors of this office. We have been friends, colleagues, sparring partners, as our Attorney General just noted, because we did not always agree. And sometimes, particularly with the directors, we mixed it up a little bit. But I think that all of you knew that whatever I was doing or recommending that we would do, it was because I thought it was in the best interest of the office. So thanks to all of you for your support and friendship. In particular, Anne couldn't be here today, but Anne, Bill Chalice, welcome to Yvonne Tierney. I don't know if she's down here. Oh, there you are, Yvonne. Welcome. It's not personal, as we discussed. And I left my number, so best of luck to you. And our Medicaid Fraud Division, Mark Anderson, who couldn't be here, but who's a great dear friend, Mark Moskowitz. I see you all the way back there. And Josh Lickflato. And from our Procurement Division, Dorothy Donnelly, Karen Shelton, and Barbara Geary. Investigations is the one division that had the fortune to have me serve as its acting director for a couple of stints before the arrival of and upon the departure of John Hoffman. So I've worked more closely with a lot of those folks than with the others. The two folks who have served as directors of the division, John and Noel, are both great friends of mine. Now I'm going to start to cry. And their support, both while here in this office and since you left, which has been a while now, John, has really been invaluable to me. So thanks to both of you. Pete was supposed to be here, but he couldn't make it. I talked about him in November. Thank you, Pete. Tell him I thanked him, okay? I need to thank all of our administrative staff who have done everything for me over the years, answered the phone, made sure I had what I needed, finalized our reports, delivered them down the street, and everything else. Specifically, I want to mention Barb Lunetta, who has been here almost since the beginning of the office and who would do anything for me in this office. So thank you, Barb. And the three women who have been my primary support over all these many years. June, wherever you are, I know where she is, we've been in touch. Diana, we know where you are too. She's in boot camp or whatever it is. I talked about her last week. And Karen Mordanis, who remarkably only joined us 18 months ago, because it feels like a lot longer, like in a good way. Karen brings light, life, joy, laughter, decorations for every holiday and season to the office. She is a special person with a wonderful heart and a dear, dear friend. Thank you. Okay, I promise we're almost done. Almost exactly at 9-10 years ago, I met an attorney named Rob Shane when he came from the Attorney General's office into the Governor's office. Rob actually was taking over the portfolio of authorities I had overseen because I was moving to do a different assignment for a little while. It's been a long time. Rob is incredibly dedicated, hardworking, loyal, one of the best lawyers I have ever worked with. He has made my life so much easier over the last couple of years. He fixes problems, he knows how to get things done. His dedication to this office and this state is unmatched by anyone I have encountered. And I am grateful for everything he has done for this office and for me over the years. Okay. Matt talked earlier about wisdom, and I have never met a person who has more wisdom than Elisa. This is where I'm gonna she has that very rare combination of wisdom and maturity and compassion and judgment and toughness and intellect. These are not qualities you can teach or train. You either really have them or you don't, and she has them in spades. She can do anything, from chairing our spirit committee and making sure people are eating and happy and smiling and planning great parties, to running the largest division of this office our Medicaid fraud division for several months when we needed her to do that. She has tremendous range. She is a unique, talented person, but more than that, for me, she's a tremendous friend. And she has been my rock for the last couple of years. Okay. I have been fortunate to work for 3 comptrollers, all of whom have been tremendously supportive of me. I'll talk first about the one who's not here, Mark.